It's too cold to be outside today, so I don't know how long we'll be outside for. Essential part of the day. It's one thing I really like about Kyiv. There's coffee places all over the place. You can have your own coffee tour. Maybe I should make a video about that. So I'm back here in the Maidan, at the main square in the city. And today I'm gonna go somewhere that to me is very interesting. And maybe you guys will think so as well. I was watching the Chernobyl documentary the other night. And I was planning on going to Chernobyl, but as you can see, it's freezing outside. It's about 30 degrees, but it's too cold for a guy from Cali, you know? And I decided, you know what? I might just hold back on Chernobyl this time. If I'm back here in the spring or summer, I'll go ahead and maybe make that trip. But I read about, and I was told about this cities that were built for the people that were evacuated from Pripyat. After the Chernobyl accident. I know that there's a couple of cities that were built, or I think there was one main city that was built where immediately they put some of the people that were evacuated, but not so far away from the city center of Kyiv, there's a city called Troieshchyna where about, I've read, 18,000 people that were evacuated from the Chernobyl zone, exclusion zone, were placed soon after the accident. This is something that I kind of wondered about when I watched the HBO documentary, like what happened to all these people that were evacuated from the Chernobyl zone. Where did they go? You know, what happened to them afterwards? And the city that we're gonna go to today is one of those places where a lot of the evacuees were taken. So I have to make my way down to the main street and try to get an Uber.
Отправить код.
Что?
Написано, сейчас вы должны мне отправить код.
So we're here in Troieshchyna. I think I just walked into one of the memorials. They actually have the atom symbols on the gate. And down there, this is all the towns that were evacuated. Stara Krasnitsaya. Yaniv, all towns that nobody's ever heard of. Leliv, towns and villages. I mean, look at this one. There's actually a person covered up, I guess to protect himself from radiation. Samotevishi? This is Belarus. Oh yeah, something I forgot to mention. Because of the direction of the wind, that night of the explosion in Chernobyl, a lot of the radiation was pushed into Belarus, a neighboring country, and a big chunk of that country had to be evacuated as well. So I think a lot of these cities here are from small villages and towns from Belarus.
People were evacuated from 458 little towns and villages after the explosion on Chernobyl station.
So obviously there's not a lot of people out today because it's a really cold day. Well, for me it's really cold, and I'm pretty sure even for people from Troieshchyna it's cold as well. But from my understanding, it's just a normal city, a normal town like any other town. There's people, families, couples. I see kids. There's a playground there. And although what happened in Chernobyl is something that we hear about back in the States, you do learn about it here. It's in people's memories still. I was even told that, you know, if I wanted to ask some of the older people that I see walking around, if we can ask them what they remember about those days, and you know, I was advised like it's better not, because some people rather not talk about it. It's still fresh in their memory. So I'm gonna head out, go back to my place down in the city center because it's freezing out here and I can barely feel my hands. So yeah, like I said, 18,000 people that were evacuated from Chernobyl ended up living here in Troieshchyna. Hope I'm saying that correctly, Troieshchyna. I think it's something that people should remember because it's not something that only affected Kyiv and the neighboring countries. It could have affected the whole world if some of these people didn't volunteer to help out in fixing the problem that was created. I'm learning a lot about it. If you guys haven't seen that documentary on HBO, and I think it's on Amazon now, it's the Chernobyl miniseries, I highly recommend you watch it. They do a really good job in explaining what happened on that day and the weeks afterwards. Even people here in Kyiv have told me that they did a really good job with that documentary. But I'm gonna get going. I'm freezing. I'll talk to you guys later.